Hi, my name is Brett Jablonski, and I will be talking to you about the history of gasoline in the United States. I was originally brought onto this topic by watching a series on the History Channel, The Men Who Built America, who taught on the starting of industry in the United States, which touched on the production of gasoline. So the story of oil in the U.S. Began in Pennsylvania in 1959 when Edwin Drake drilled the first oil well in Titusville, Pennsylvania. Uh, while many people believe that this was the first oil well to ever produce oil, it's not the case. It was actually the first well whose sole intention was to produce oil. There were actually other wells internationally as well as in the United States that produced oil beforehand, but they were built for other purposes opposed to oil. Uh, the importance of this well proved that oil was a worthwhile commodity, worthwhile of attracting investment and growing into an industry in its own right. So as the oil industry began to take shape, large corporations started to form, the largest of which was the Standard Oil Company. Um, when when oil was first discovered, gasoline was seen as a waste product. It had an odor, and it really wasn't many uses for it at the time. Most companies either dumped it or burned it as a waste. However, Standard Oil saw use in the gasoline and used it as a fuel to further their refining process. It wasn't really until 1892, with the invention of the automobile, that the importance and use of gasoline was realized to its fullest potential. And this was even further brought in 1913 when engineers for the Standard Oil of Indiana Company increased pressure in their refining process to double the yields of gasoline while refining. So as cars were developed and they were designed to be faster and heavier, a better quality of gasoline was needed to help these cars run. So this was done by increasing the octane level, which reduced unwanted detonations in the engine, which then reduces knocking, which helps the car run smoother. So this, starting in the 1920s, Freon was invented and added into gasoline, which helped engines burn fuel more smoothly and reduce knocking in the process. Additionally, also in the 1920s, leaded gasoline, or tetraethyl lead, was added into gasoline, which further increased octane level and reduced knocking in the process, making the engines run much more efficiently. However, adding lead to the gasoline didn't come without its consequences, as even while lead gasoline was still in use, it had known health effects. Those were nervous system damage and hindering the development of the nervous system, especially in children. This was most prevalent in major cities where traffic and heavier pollution were found. Additionally, starting in the 1970s, cars were started to be built with catalytic converters in their exhaust system. Leaded gasoline and catalytic converters did not get along very well, as the lead reacted with the products in the catalytic converter, reducing its efficiency and kind of making it useless. Leaded gasoline started to get phased out in the 1970s with the introduction of unleaded gasoline in the United States. However, it was not fully removed from road vehicles in the United States until 1996. Further continuing with their goal of making gas burn more cleanly and increasing its octane level to run more efficiently, in 2005, Congress passed the Renewable Fuel Standard with its main goals of lowering emissions and increasing energy independence in the United States, mostly done through the growing of ethanol in the United States. So today, most gasoline in the United States contains 10% ethanol, or it's known as E10. However, there are flex fuel cars which can run as high as 85% ethanol in their gasoline. However, those are mostly found abroad opposed to within the United States. And going back to their ethanol goal, the Renewable Fuel Standard has a goal to produce 36 billion gallons of ethanol in the United States by 2022. All right, these are my references, and that's the brief rundown of gasoline in the United States. Thank you.